Happy LGBTQ History Month, Penn State. I'm Brian Pechkowski and serve as the director of Penn State's Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity. Every year around National Coming Out Day, recognized as October 11th, we celebrate coming out as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, asexual, queer, LGBTQ+, or another identity that breaks the binary understandings of sexual and gender diversity. This year, we celebrate the 32nd anniversary of National Coming Out Day. 32 years ago, on the anniversary of the National March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights, National Coming Out Day was first observed as a reminder that one of our most basic tools is the power of coming out. 1 out of every 2 Americans has someone close to them who is gay or lesbian identified. For transgender communities, that number is only 1 in 10. Every year, since the humble beginnings of queer activism at Penn State, dating back to around 1973, students, staff, and faculty have shared their stories at some form of speak out or rally. It has been about creating visibility and recognition of who we are as a community. As we celebrate and observe this year, we also face the ultimate reality that we are not together physically. While distance may separate us, our recognition of you, our communities, will not be diminished. As we continue to celebrate LGBTQ+ History Month during October, through a variety of events and opportunities offered by our staff and student organizations, we hope to continue supporting each of you and your communities in finding moments of reflection, growth, and resilience. The resilience that has long been embedded within our community's history. While digital this year, we hope the messages shared by those from across our community uphold and recognize the unjust silences that continue to exist on our campuses, in our communities, and in our world. Ike Berg, one of the founders of National Coming Out Day, said in a 1992 interview, "It is imperative that we come out and let people know who we are and rid them of their fears and their stereotypes." In honor of National Coming Out Day, the Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity, our campus and community partners, and Penn State honors all those who have come out as a member of the LGBTQ+ community, or as an accomplice, co-conspirator, or actively engaged ally in the fight for justice. These actions take bravery, and we stand with you. Every person who speaks up changes more hearts and minds and creates new directions for change. Again, this is a monumental year. Our communities have and continue to be tested, and we will not be silenced nor erased. Within the last 32 years, the power of the act of claiming one's identity has not diminished and does not go unnoticed. As we reflect on our collective queer history, our movement continues to provoke contradictions within those who have historically remained on the margins. Marsha P. Johnson was an architect to some of the earliest visible actions within our collective movement. And because of her resilience in the face of bigotry and discrimination, the power found within living authentically and courageously is possible. Johnson, a revolutionary Black trans woman, sex worker, and drag queen, was often overlooked and cast out of the mainstream LGBTQ organizing because of her gender identity, race, HIV status, and occupation. Her story is also one that continues to be left out of our history. So much of what Marsha had to navigate remains a reality for many of us. Marsha's history has helped make plain the connections between the historical erasure of trans women of color from the broader LGBT movement and contemporary forms of anti-Black transphobic violence happening today. Again, it may seem as if coming out has lost its power, but coming out means so much more than just individual identification. Our communities still walk these collective journeys, and those journeys are life-changing for the person coming out and for those to whom one shares their story. Coming out will always be an act of courage, authenticity, and hope. Larry Kramer, American playwright, author, film producer, public health advocate, and LGBT rights activist, noted, "Being LGBTQ is a natural, normal variation on being human. Period. End of subject. Therefore, any argument which says differently is an immoral, supremacist one. Call it out as such. Be outraged, offended, angry, and intolerant of any discussion or anyone who describes you as unequal, undeserving, or unnatural for being just as you are." For those who support and advocate for sexual and gender diversity, I am also talking to you. Every visible act of support gives hope to the LGBTQ+ people in your life. We need you to act in word and deed to support equity and equality under the law now more than ever. On this 32nd anniversary of National Coming Out Day, amid multiple pandemics, I challenge all of us listening to act and to move our collective communities forward. Let us work together to form the communities we need. Coming out still matters, and we have so much work yet to do. So, from wherever you might be physically located this year, know that we stand with you, we see you, and we are Penn State. Happy LGBTQ History Month, Penn State, and National Coming Out Day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and I use she, her pronouns, and I just wanted to quickly share my coming out story. I was actually 12 years old, so I was pretty young, and I was out for a walk with my mom, and I knew that I wanted to tell her, so I started testing the waters and talking about some of the stuff that I've been hearing in the news about gay rights, gay marriage, etc., and kind of getting her perspective on it and how she felt about it, and she was like, yeah, well, I think that people should have, the right to be with who they want to be with. And then she asked me, well, why do you bring it up? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I'm gay. And she just looks at me right in the eyes and she goes, yeah, I know. And I was completely shocked at that point. I was like, what do you mean that you knew? And how could this be possible? And I had hit it so well. And she was like, well, sometimes a mother just knows. So I knew, but I was waiting for you to tell me. And that just goes to show that when you're being your authentic self as much as you can be, it really can be a rewarding experience. And there are people who are going to love you exactly for who you are. So please always keep that in mind. Be yourself, especially nowadays. But other than that, Penn State, happy National Coming Out Day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.
Hello, everyone. It's great to join you for the annual LGBTQ History Month rally, a virtual one this year, of course. I wish we were on the steps of Old Main on a bright sunny day, as we usually are. But even indoors and from a distance, this remains an important occasion. The spirit, good energy, optimism, and hope that are always so much a part of this event live within each of you. You know that, of course. You know the little coronavirus isn't going to make it otherwise. What I always love most about this event is the palpable sense of community it brings. I often say that there is no community stronger at Penn State than the LGBTQ community. As an ally, I've always been struck by how this community is bound together by its shared history, its shared sense of accomplishment, and the support and care shared with one another by each member of this community. One of my two academic majors way back when I was in college was history, and my father was a history teacher, so I take some satisfaction knowing that LGBTQ History Month was actually founded by a high school history teacher in Missouri more than a quarter century ago. My father, if he was with us, would remind us that too few of us actually know our history, though. So while we recommit ourselves today to continuing the struggle for equality and justice, let's also take the occasion to celebrate just how far we have come. With that in mind, I'd like to encourage you to read two books that I just finished in recent weeks, Lillian Faderman's The Gay Revolution and Susan Stryker's Transgender History. If you've read them, I wish you'd take the time to tell me what you thought, and if you haven't, you might want to do so. I'm certainly glad that I did. The history of the LGBTQ experience shows that we have work yet to do, but the history also shows that the world has progressed and that improvement in understanding and commitment to one another's well-being and success is possible if we just dedicate ourselves to it. And because my other major in college was political science, I want to remind all of you to register to vote. Educate yourselves about the issues and the candidates, educate others too, where you can, and then vote and be sure others do as well. A democracy thrives when its citizens care enough about it and themselves and others to be engaged in civic life. The progress we have seen in the history of the LGBTQ experience has many causes, but one of those causes has been profound change in law. That change and the possibility of more change to come remains critically important. So I ask that each of you engage in the public dialogue and advocacy required, because the progress already achieved in LGBTQ rights remains fragile and requires our vigilant attention. So during this month, read a little LGBTQ history and become politically engaged. And on this day, celebrate how far we have come. Recommit to the further progress we yet must achieve, knowing that it's attainable, and embrace the strength and beauty and love found within the LGBTQ community at Penn State. I wish you well. Please stay safe.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Pruitt. I'm a senior corporate communications student at Penn State Scranton. I'm also co-president of the LGBTQA+ club here on our campus. I guess for me, coming out was more of an acknowledgement of that I am who I am, that I am gay. I remember when I did come out to my family and then started to talk with other friends and come out to them, that it was a way for me to start to share who I am and some of my truths with not just them, but to share it with myself and start to feel more comfortable about who I am. I'm not saying that means I'm completely comfortable with who I am every second of every day. Everybody has doubts, but I at least know that I can keep moving forward and that I have the support I need from my family and friends. And it was just also a huge burden to take off of my shoulders. I feel a lot less restricted and isolated from other people, and I'm starting to feel much more comfortable with who I am and who I have around me.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamar. I am the co-chair of the Center LGBTQA Support Network. We're a community organization here in Center County. And I am a proud bisexual woman, mom to a queer boy. And I just wanted to say happy National Coming Out Day, happy LGBTQ+ History Month. We could not be more proud of our community. We could not be more proud of the work that we do here in Center County. We offer social, educational activities around LGBTQ topics and advocacy. We've grown a lot in the 6 years. We have a long way to go. We would love for you to consider us as part of your extended family here in Center County. And we would love to see your beautiful faces on Zoom in the short run and hopefully in person in the not too distant future. So be out, be proud, and be well.
Happy National Coming Out Day, Penn State. My name is Rafael Alvarez Febo. I'm the Executive Director for the Pennsylvania Commission on LGBTQ Affairs, and I just want to wish you a happy National Coming Out Day. This is an important day for many people in the LGBTQ community. As we know, coming out is one of the toughest things we have to confront as LGBTQ people. But once we do, we know that we have a supportive community that's here to embrace us, that's here to get us through any difficulties, but also here to celebrate. Here to celebrate how open we are, how diverse we are, and that being different is not something bad. Being different is what makes us special. As a person who came out when he was 21 years old, I decided to come out to my father first, and which is not very typical, but it was a really great experience. And everyone's experience is different, but the most important thing is to know that you have a community that affirms you, that supports you, and that is here for you. And we hope that your coming out experience is a good one. And in the larger context of LGBTQ History Month, which is October, I want to say, thank you to everyone who has blazed trails in our community to make sure that the rights that we deserve are obtained and that we continue fighting. So again, thanks a lot, and enjoy your happy National Coming Out Day.
Hi, I'm Sarah Beth Bowmaster. I'm a sophomore Women's Studies, Philosophy, and CAS major at Penn State. I work at the Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity as the peer education student staff member, which I really love. It's awesome. So talking about my coming out story, it's been a long and drawn out process, kind of started in high school, like 9th grade, just like questioning things, talking to my friends, and we're all like, yeah, we don't know, like this is weird. Maybe it's just a phase, we'll grow out of it, blah, blah, blah. So then moving on, like throughout high school, I always had it in the back of my mind that maybe I was attracted to women, but I was like, I don't know, because I'm from like a very rural, small, like Pennsylvania town. So it's not a common thing to like come out or be open about like your sexuality or even talk about your sexuality at all. So once I got to Penn State and I was studying women's studies, in those environments, like the center and just like the classroom with my women's studies professors and peers, I was just supported so much, and everyone's really very expressive and open about who they were. And that was really inspiring to me. And so one day I was sitting in the Trader Joe's parking lot after I bought groceries, and I decided it was time to just tell everyone. So I sent my family group chat a text message with my brothers and my parents and my sister-in-law, and I was like, hey, this may come as a surprise, it may not, but I'm bisexual, I think, queer of some sort, and I like women. And they were like, all right, cool, and just were super supportive. And then I decided I had to tell like the rest of my friends. Like I wanted to tell some of my hometown friends, my friends that I made at school. And the scariest thing, honestly, was telling the people that I've known the longest, because I didn't want to change our relationship, and that really scared me. Like I was worried if there was any sort of like strange things that would come about from that. But I ended up telling everyone, and I got a lot of questions, but they were all just very genuine out of like curiosity and love. And I was incredibly lucky with that. And it really just, taught me that if people really love you for who you are, they love you no matter what. And that was really amazing. And I've been so lucky to be so accepted and loved throughout this whole like experience of coming out that's been since like I was 15. So yeah, I've had a really awesome experience thanks to Penn State and like how welcoming and open this community is. Places like the Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity really make that easier by educating, our students and making allies and opening up the community. So I'm lucky and really thankful that I've had all this support and love.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Nicholas, Associate Professor of Communication Arts and Sciences at Penn State Berks, and along with the amazing Brian Pachowski, I'm also the co-chair of the CLGBTQ Week. As a communication scholar, I have a complicated association with this idea of coming out. To have to come out means I'm part of a normative order that sets me aside as different, as aberrant. How many straight people come out as straight? Yet even as I say this, I recognize that the tyranny of the closet makes coming out a powerful rhetorical gesture. Coming out makes me feel true to myself. Coming out makes me matter. Coming out makes others like me feel they are visible, that they are not alone. And so for me, coming out is a paradox. It both situates us in and rescues us from our oppression. And it's in part because of both these positions that we need that we celebrate National Coming Out Day, a day to honor the strides we have made and the fight we have ahead of us.
Hi, I'm Percy. I use he, him pronouns, and today I'm going to be talking about coming out. So, what a lot of people don't really understand about coming out, what a lot of cisgender heterosexual people don't understand about coming out, is that it never is just one big I'm gay or I'm trans. It's a lot more complicated than that. Usually you have to come out to multiple people at different times in your life. You might have to come out to like the other day I got a flu shot and I had to come out to the guy as transgender. It's never one big moment. I mean, for some people they do have that big moment where they do say, I'm gay, or I'm trans, or I'm bi. But you never come out just once. You have to come out over and over again all the time, almost every day sometimes. And it kind of sucks. But at that same time, it's in some ways kind of empowering to be unapologetically yourself and be able to, say that over and over without hesitation. I don't know. That's all. Bye.
Hi y'all, my name is Colton Lucas. I am the current president of the Penn State Student Line Pride Roundtable for Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity, aka Line Pride for short. My coming out story started in 9th grade. I actually came out on Facebook first. I literally just said, I'm gay, period. That was it. Nothing else. I went into school the next day. I was absolutely terrified. For some reason, I thought a mob was going to be after me as soon as I walked into the door. Plot twist, nothing happened. Everything was fine. However, the area that I lived in wasn't the most accepting, wasn't the greatest area for me to be a queer person in. So I did struggle a little bit after I came out, as I do think most queer people do. It was really a matter of figuring out kind of who I was, and the environment that I was in, it wasn't the greatest place to do that. So going through high school, I really struggled with who I was, with my identity. But ever since then, since coming to Penn State, I've really been able to find a community that is so open and so accepting. I've really been able to be around some of the most amazing people, join some of the most amazing organizations. I've been able to be involved with some of the most incredible events here at Penn State, and that's really helped me figure out who I am as a person. I'm still figuring myself out as I go, as I think a lot of queer people are at this age. And I just want to say that it might take a minute. It might take a hot minute for you to really feel as if you know who you are, especially when you're first coming out. But I just the advice that I want to give you is just take your time. Don't rush it. If you feel like you're not ready to come out, if you feel like you're not ready to say, this is who I am, take your time. You have all the time in the world. It's just a matter of when you're comfortable and you're ready to do it. So please take your time. Don't feel like if you're struggling with coming out, don't feel like you have to immediately. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time to figure it out. And eventually you'll get there. You'll figure out when is the right time for you. Happy History Month. Happy National Coming Out Day.